well too. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into the NFL Week 8 aftermath, and we are now at the halfway point of the season. It doesn't matter if they added on an extra week of the season or any of that stuff or an extra game. Week 8 is always the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 9 is pretty much the beginning of the second half of the season. And I truly do feel that what happens here in week 8 is not going to be a barometer of what will be happening in week 13, because it's a very, very week to week league this year. It's a lot of parity in the NFL at this time. And a lot of people just have to realize that. And a lot of teams that are really good right now are going to be really bad this month. And a lot of teams that are really bad are going to be really good this month. That's just how the NFL works. Teams are starting to progress and teams are starting to regress. It's that simple. Teams have to make adjustments in their playbooks. Teams have to make adjustments on their rosters. It's a lot of things that are going on in the NFL. But let's talk about the best 5 games that I had for Sunday. And I got to talk about the boats. So the boat report today, the Chargers crushed the Bears 30-14 and finally get a win without dramatics. And when I say without dramatics, that means that they finally won the game and they didn't need to settle it in the fourth quarter. They went ahead, they got a lead, and they held on to that lead, and they absolutely held the Bears last night. Yes, the Bears did have a Division II quarterback. No, he wasn't. He's not FCS. He's a Division II quarterback, and he went to some school called Shepherd or something of that nature, Bayonet. And you know what? The guy did show some good promise. You know what I mean? He showed that he's a good backup. Let's. I know everybody always wants to have the Kurt Warner story, the Tom Brady story, but Tom Brady went to Michigan. I know. But they always want to have these Tony Romo stories and all these quarterbacks that just come out of nowhere that are just backups. He's a backup. Justin Fields is the solidified quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Yes, his record is bad, but you know what? The team is bad. And, if he had a better team, he would have a better record. It's that simple. And Chicago fans have realized this, and Chicago's brass has realized this as well, too. But NBC had to sell a game, and so they gave the perception that this guy might be auditioning for a job. And pretty much it was just another hope and wish of trying to have another marketing ploy, and it did not work. It happens like this. The NFL will gas you up for a whole day, and then once you meet the true expectations, they'll throw you away. It's just like playing with Woody in Toy Story, and the kid throws him back into the bin because he doesn't want to play with him anymore. So it is what it is. But let's get to the Chargers. And the Chargers finally won a game without needing to be extra, without needing to have some breaks go their way, or making sure that you don't have to do a last-minute drive to win the game. Yesterday, they won the game comfortably, and a lot of people have to understand, and this is not me over analyzing the Chargers, but keep it real. The Chargers are the only team in the NFL that has played in nothing but close games this year. If you really go ahead and you fix certain things in every single game they played this year, this team could be undefeated at this point. They could be the best team in the NFL. They have a top 5 roster in the NFL, and they've been able to put themselves in games every single game. That's all you can ask for a team, but they have to get consistent on the winning side. And yesterday was a good measurement of what can come later on. Even though you lost Josh Palmer for a bit there, he hurt his knee, but he should be okay because he's going to have an extra day. It's not like he had to get back for Sunday. Quentin Johnston finally realized that, you know what, I have to step up my game and become more assertive and more aggressive and become a guy that's going to be an asset to this offense and not a liability. So there's a lot of things that are about to open up for this team. Josh Kelly and Austin Eckler were able to have a good duo run game yesterday. They were very good yesterday. They were able to keep everything honest, and they were able to give Herbert the time he needs to be to operate. Herbert was chefing yesterday, 31 of 40, 298 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, 122.7 QBR rating. And can I let you know he's doing it with a broken middle left finger as well too. So yeah, that's pretty good. And Eckler and Kelly, they were able to get 60 yards as a duo yesterday. I said that, yes, it's good, but 21 touches for these guys. They got 60 yards on that situation, but they were able to move the ball the way that you're supposed to. Eckler did lose a fumble, but he's still getting back into his groove. But Eckler led all receivers yesterday for the Chargers, 7 receptions, 94 yards. Keenan Allen had 8 receptions, 69 yards. And then, you had an Eckler touchdown. Parham is a guy that I think if you could do a little bit more with Parham could be a possible Pro Bowl tight end. But you know what? There's just a lot of things that you have to step into. I think that he might not be fast enough, but he does have the height. The guy is 6'8". You guys have to understand that part. The guy is 6'8". He's pretty much Darren Waller out there, but he has become one of Herbert's favorite touchdown targets. So I truly do feel that this one is a good example of a player that is on the rise. And now, since you got Mike Williams out and you don't know what Palmer's going to be for next Monday, Parham can play a big part into the game come next Monday, because I feel like really he can be a mismatch for a lot of guys. It showed yesterday when he scored his touchdown. Also, they have another guy that should be implemented to the lineup next week and get more looks next week as well too, and that's going to be Fiocco. Fiocco had 1 catch for 9 yards, but it was a beautiful catch that turned into a touchdown. So that's another option that they have as well too. I thought they was going to do a little bit more with Darius Davis yesterday. They did not, but that's okay. And then last night they only got a sack, but Joey Bosa, it was a big sack because Joey Bosa got the sack when it was on third down to get the Bears off the field while they were at midfield. Probably the best drive early for the Bears before they got their early touchdown. But that was a good drive because they were able to get a turnover in the process of that situation, and they were able to find themselves at that point of the field. Well, actually, it wasn't a turnover. It was a great pass by Bayonet that, pretty much was like, oh, this guy can do some things. But we all know that the Chargers defense is one of the worst in the NFL when it comes to the back end, and they just don't know how to get off the field. But yesterday they did. The Bears went 6 for 14 on third down efficiency. They went 1 for 4 on fourth down. So the Chargers did a great job of getting them off the field. The Chargers did a good job of staying on the field. They went 7 for 13 on third down. They had 352 total yards. They gave up 295. They gave up 222 yards through the air, but they only gave up 73 rushing yards yesterday. But they only ran for a total, after you add in losses, for 54 yards on the ground. They want to fix that. And they ran 65 to 63 plays. So they had the winner they had the win in the plays category as well too. And then when it came down to it, the Chargers committed no penalties yesterday. They committed 2 of them, but they were only for 15 yards. The Bears, one of the teams that lacks major discipline in the NFL. They wound up actually being pretty bad. Seven penalties for 53 yards. The Chargers won the time of possession. So all in all, the Chargers move on to the Jets next week, and that's a very crucial game because that has playoffs, posture to it. It's not playoff, assurance, is playoff posturing. Because right now, if you look at the wild card, it's Bills, Steelers, Browns, and then you have the Jets on the outside looking in with Cincinnati. They're all 4. Those 2 teams I just named are 4-3, and the Steelers and Browns are both 4-3. The Chargers are 3-4. They're sitting at 8. They're right behind Tennessee because Tennessee owns that tiebreaker, and they're behind Houston because Houston owns a tiebreaker over Tennessee. So pretty much that's where you have it at. And I think that this is, it's because Houston has a better divisional record and a better record against conference than Tennessee. I'm sorry. So pretty much that's why they're where they're at. but it's still a wide open race because you still got the Raiders in the mix as well too. But I think that you can really say that you got 5 teams on the outside looking in, and then you have it to where it can really get shaken up. But this is a really important game because if they're able to win this game, then it will move them up further along the standings, and they'll be in position to, chase a playoff spot. But I'm looking at the Chargers schedule now, and I think that the Chargers will probably run into the best part of their schedule when it comes to actually winning games consistently. You got the Jets coming up Monday. They're a shaky group. You know that they're winning games by the seat of their pants. Detroit is going to probably be a tough game, but it's a winnable game. You got them in LA. And then you got Green Bay at Green Bay. Green Bay is a work in progress at this moment. And then you got your big matchup with the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football once again at the end of the month. So it is what it is. This is what it's going to be. And pretty much Chargers, congratulations. Now 3-4. Moving on to the Jets next week. And we'll be talking about that a lot tomorrow on the NFL Bet Exchange. So with that, let's go ahead and move forward and jump into the Eagles in another battle against rival